Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. As you can see, we have a guest today, and you guys know it's show number 200. Let me say that first, okay? But we do have a guest. We see Miss Tina Zasadi. I'm going to bring her in here in a minute. She's currently muted, but she's excited, as you can tell. As you can tell just by the look on her face, she's excited to be on here and to spill all the goods about, when we used to work together. But anyway, we'll get into that later, or a couple minutes, not later. But first, before I move on, I want to thank you guys. In fact, let me adjust this. This thing is over my head. Today is Tuesday, March 14th, show number 200. And it's On Air with Russell of Hotels. So if you're looking for, Russell of Hotels, this is the right place. This is where you should be. So, but before I go on, I want to thank some people. This morning I wake up and I woke up to some, I checked, probably LinkedIn is probably, my most favorite platform that I, do business with or do business on and all that kind of stuff. And I opened up LinkedIn and I saw this video and I was like, what the heck is this? And it kind of took me back. Okay. It took me off guard. Okay. And because I wasn't expecting it. So I want to let me just thank these people. I thanked them on LinkedIn, I think for the most part, but I did a live earlier just to personally thank them. But, and the thing of it is, some of these people, I only know from LinkedIn. I only know from Instagram. Out of 10 people that I'm about to thank or recognize, I only know 4 of them. I've only met 4 of them in person. So that's what and people sleep on this whole social media thing. They don't take advantage of it. They don't try to form relationships. They don't try to do business on there. And what I'm trying to say is it works and you should, okay? And I'm a prime example of that. Like I said, 10 of these people that I'm about to thank, I only know 4 of them. I've only met 4 of them in person. So, but anyway, Dylan Beaumont, okay, Lonnie Wolf, Bruce Jordan, a.k.a. the MJ of Hotels, Robbie Lynn Moncrief, Nikki Wade, Cheryl Rogers, Jana Divine Hospitality, Nicole Hankton, Davon Reeves, and last but certainly not least, because now I understand that she's the one to put all this stuff together, and she's the one I should be blaming for this. So, Miss Lauren Brown, I want to thank all you guys. I do appreciate you guys recognizing this and making it more of a big deal than I was taking it. Right? I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not big on people thanking me for things. I just do what I do. And my job is to try to make other people's brands shine. I mean, that was the goal when I first started doing this, is to bring people on, kind of like-minded people, similar industry, that kind of stuff, and see where I can help. If I can help it any way, that's what I'm here to do. So it was just a way for me to, of course, let people know who I am, what I do, how I can help. And then it was a way to bring brands on, and the brand starts with the people that I have on the show, right? That's the brand, right, that you buy from. Just like Tina, I mean, we buy Tina before we buy the hotel that she works for, okay? So always remember that, right? It's not necessarily people are going to come to that hotel because it's that hotel. No, they're going to come there because they have a connection with someone there, especially if you're a salesperson, and there you go. So I just wanted to thank those people properly. on the show, and thank everybody, my family. I see my brother Stacy is there. Congratulations on show number 200. Appreciate that. My mom there in Blythe. They're both in Blythe. My sister, Sonia, my daughter, my son Malachi, Deja. I mean, all those people. Just people that I come in contact with because I, like I said, it's been 200 shows, right? And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I went with someone else, right? I went with LA Talk Radio. Okay, that's what my first 90 shows were with LA Talk Radio. So I just basically just showed up, and then someone else did the driving, right? I just did the talking, right? Well, then I said, well, you know what? Let me venture up and kind of do my own thing. So that's when I started doing my own thing, and I produce everything. I do everything. Everything is right here within this square that I'm working in, right? So, but before I had someone that was doing all that, right? So someone else was pulling the strings, and I was just dancing around talking. They had a string on my mouth too, and I was, saying that stuff too. But anyway, that's it. I just want to thank people for that because you can never thank people enough, right? And I just want to make sure I thank the right people. So, okay, so there you go. So that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Show number 200. Yeah. Let's move past that. And just so you know that this is live on LinkedIn as well as YouTube at the same time, right? So I don't think Tina knew that, but yes, live on LinkedIn and YouTube right now with the replay on those same platforms as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, so after the show's over, I will make sure I put those on there. Tina, I see you're being a little. I think your connection is maybe going or fading a little bit, so you may have to log back in. From what I can see, you're frozen, and that's okay, right? So we had this conversation before the show started. Is that if you freeze and if you get kicked out, just come back on. Okay, so I'll invite you back on. So that's not a problem. So if that does happen, which obviously it has happened, so we will make sure we get her back on there. But Tina is with see, there you go. But she's going to come back on. She's with the Garland Hotel. That hotel is in North Hollywood. Click here for live stream. I'm not sure what that even means. Click here. I'm not sure what that means, but she'll come back on here in a minute. I'm pretty sure. So, okay, let's put that out of there. Let me just move this out of the way so you can see me. Oh, maybe I should go that way. But so I will do her bio until she comes back on, right? So Tina's Zasadi. She's okay. There she goes. There she goes. Hold on one second. Let me just add her to my right. See, I knew that was going to happen, but that's okay. This is Hollywood, and you're in North Hollywood there, Tina, so we just keep it going.
I know. I'm really close to Hollywood, so yes, we should expect that to happen.
But as they say, the show goes on, right?
It surely does, yes.
Okay. I'm going to do your bio real quick, which is brief.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a brief bio. I asked Tina to do I asked her to do a bio. She's like, geez, I got to do a bio too? I'm like, gosh, okay. But anyway, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. You're being a little glitchy again. Okay. Tina is a hospitality sales professional with 20 plus years experience in the hospitality industry. Her current role is as assistant director of sales at the iconic and family-owned and operated the Garland Hotel in North Hollywood. Ranked number 11th in the 2022 Travel and Leisure World's Best Awards in Los Angeles and number 15 on the 2022 Condé Nast Readers' Choice Award. So without any further ado, we're going to welcome to the microphone Miss Tina Zasadi.
Hey.
So welcome to the show, Tina. I probably tried to get you on here before, and you probably turned me down, and now why'd you want to come on the show when I asked you the second time?
So now you're putting me on the spot. Well, Russell, life happened.
I understand. I'm just joking with you. Oh my God, I'm just joking. You didn't freeze, did you? Are you still there?
Let me know if I'm freezing a bit. We are doing some upgrades on the property, so the internet may be a little, glitchy here and there.
Oh. Something just happened, and I think I did that. I did that by mistake. I did not mean to do that. She'll come back on. I clicked something. I thought I was supposed to push, but it didn't mean that to happen. But that's okay. It's gonna come back. She'll come back on, and we'll resume. But yeah. So that okay. Where are we? I heard something. Russell is known to put folks. What is his name? Put folks on the spot. Yes. That
Okay,
was
is
me,
this
Tina.
better?
That wasn't you. That wasn't you. That was me. I did that by mistake.
You
What the
did
hell?
that?
Yeah, I did. I did. So anyway, okay. So okay, yeah, I put. Someone made a comment, and feel free for you guys to make the comments. I appreciate it. And someone said, I'm known for putting people on the spot. So with knowing that, are you there?
Yep, I'm there. Can you hear me, see me?
Yeah, I can
No?
hear and see you. Yep,
Okay.
yep. Hear and
Okay,
see
kind of
you
switched it up a little
fine.
bit just to make sure that doesn't happen. So, yes. Yes, Russell, putting me on the spot.
Okay, you want to answer that question, or you want me to go on to the next question?
You can go on to the next question.
All right. How did you get started in the industry?
How did I get started in the industry? Fresh
Mm-hmm.
out of high school. My dad, actually, I'll go back a little bit. My father worked at the Sportsman's Lodge Hotel, another little iconic property in Studio City. He worked there for 30 years
Wow.
as a cook. And so, fresh out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And he said, well, you have a choice, either education or get a job. I wasn't doing either. So he said, you're getting a job. I got a call and they said they're looking for a PBX operator. So I drove myself to the Sportsman's Lodge and started off as a PBX operator. And that's how I got into the industry.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
how long did you stay? How long did you stay at as a PBX operator?
Oh my God, too long. Way too long. The plan was to start off as a hotel operator. I was going to cosmetology school, and the job as the operator was funding that. I ended up liking the hotel industry. And so I worked as a PBX operator for about 9 years between operator and front desk.
Really? For 9 years?
5 years as a PBX operator and about another 4 as a front desk. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So for people that don't understand what the PBX operator is, that's the number when you call that 800 number or whatever to the hotel, and that person answers the phone. That is the PBX operator and says, "Thank you for calling the Sportsman Lodge Hotel. How may I direct your call? Room 25. Room 225." She would be the one that would type that in and push the buttons and all that kind of stuff. Am
And
I right?
transfer you. Yeah, but transfer you to
Transfer.
whatever extension you want. Yeah, that was me. That was I.
Very good. And then okay, you did PBX, but you worked at the front desk too. You got introduced to the front desk,
Yes.
and what did you do there? You check people
Uh,
in. What was your
as,
role there?
I think back then they still used the terms as like clerk, and then you had the cashier. So I did both. I did everything. I did operator, front desk, and reservations at one point as well.
Wow,
So
very
I
good,
knew
very
that
good.
little front desk, like the back of my hand for about nine
Okay,
years. Yeah.
wow. Okay, so at what point did you know that okay, I've done PBX, I've done front desk. What is going to be my next step? Did you think there was a next step, or did you just say it? Did it just someone came to you and said, hey, why don't you try this out? Why don't you do this particular department or whatever?
Um, well, when I started, it was in my early 20s. And I didn't know the direction that I wanted to go in my life. And somebody, I guess, recognized or saw some potential in me to, want more for myself. And she said, Tina, I think you're ready to move up to maybe perhaps sales, maybe as a coordinator. And that was the next step. I said, okay, well, it's a little bit more money, change of setting. And of course, that was my next move. I became a sales coordinator.
Okay, okay. Sales
Yeah.
coordinator. Now you're in the sales department. You've seen everything that's going on there, and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
this gets me away from this front desk and PBX. Now the real fun begins, right? So
Now
did
the
you?
real fun begins.
So take us through your sales, the sales process or being a coordinator, and where'd you go from there? Did you like being a coordinator? What did you learn? Um, just take me from being the coordinator to, I guess,
Yeah,
maybe sales
I'll take you
manager if
through
you
the
may.
process. Yeah, mine
Yeah,
was
please.
yeah. I mean, I worked my way up to where I am now. So, um, they thought I would be a great asset in the sales department as a coordinator because I had the front desk experience. So, that operations really helped the sales managers there because I knew how to handle the front desk, and I was able to detail and coordinate things seamlessly because I knew the front desk so well. Um, the hotel went through some changes, being sold. It was family owned and operated for years, and it was sold different hospitality management companies. I had at that time, and I'm going to give her a shout out because she is, it's also, International Women's Month, and I'm going to shout her out because she is a bulldog in the industry, and she really saw this potential in me to want more. Her name's Alina Wade, and she was my very first director of sales that I worked for.
Shout out to
Romanian
Alina
woman.
Wade.
Yeah, Alina Wade opened the door for me there. She's like, okay, you've got to come up here with me. So I worked very closely with her. She used to handle all of these FIT accounts and wholesale, and I ended up developing a relationship with all of these clients because I was their point of contact as a coordinator. The relationship was so good that they would reach out to me instead of Alina. And so it was very seamless because I knew these people so well. I corresponded with them so well. And everybody knows in the hotel industry, you book and you give it to somebody else to cook. And that's kind of what happened with me. So she used to book it and I used to cook it, and I developed these relationships, and I kind of managed them from that point on. When the hotel went through a bit of a management change once it was sold, they were looking for a sales manager, and I don't remember his name. And this was with, and I'm going to shout this out too because they all played a major role in where I am now, Broughton Hotels, um, Broughton Hospitality and Hotels, Jim Shitka. Actually, I remember meeting Jim.
Shout out to Jim
And
Shichter.
to Jim, I do remember Jim. And, his name, I can see his face, but I forget his name. But he was, I believe, either the VP of sales for the company. I don't remember his name, which is unfortunate. I think it's the mom brain in me. But while hiring a sales manager, he looked at me and said, why are we hiring a sales manager when you're already doing it? And then I remember having a conversation with
Steve
Jim.
Buckler. You talking about Steve
Steve
Buckler?
Buckler. I've had so many Steves and Stevens
Shout out to
as
Steve
bosses
Buckler
and
too.
mentors. Yes, he sat down with me and said, why do we need a sales manager if you're already doing it? And I was scared. I think once you become a sales manager, you're tied to this goal, right? And so I was terrified. He's like, Tina, you're already doing this. And I said, okay. And I think he's like, you're already doing this. It makes no sense. You already have the relationship. You don't even know you're selling already. Just do it. And so that's how I became a sales manager. So it's an
Wow,
easy transition for me.
it sounds like it. Okay, from
Yeah.
PDX to front desk, uh, to coordinator, sales coordinator, and then transition to a sales manager. That's cool. I
Yes.
like that. I like that. Okay, okay,
Sales
okay,
manager. And
okay,
then
okay. Go ahead.
you came into the picture. You
Okay.
were after I became a sales manager, you were my very first director of sales.
So you guys didn't know that it was going to be a twist and turn here to this story here.
No,
Hold on
well,
one second. Hold on
yeah.
one second before you go on. I just want to give a couple of shout outs to people because I do appreciate you guys joining in. Robin and Moncrief, thank you so much. I do put people on the spot, Robin. Thank you so much. Cheryl, Tina is the best. That's what Cheryl said. Cheryl Rogers. You
I
know
love
Cheryl
Cheryl
Rogers?
too.
Okay, there
Cheryl,
you
she's
go.
gorgeous. Yes.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the congratulations. Thank you, Robin Lynn. Thank you for the congratulations. Well, Jim Schichter is here. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining. We appreciate it. We love Jim. Jim helped me out too. So, okay, so now that you got this new director of sales, this guy named Russell, where does it go from there?
Oh my goodness, where does it go from there? Um, you really pushed me. I had no idea what a sales manager was. No idea what it entailed. I was just doing the job because that's what I was just used to doing. I went into kind of blindly. I just knew that I had the relationships. I knew how to generate a contract. I knew how to look at rates, and that was my go to. I didn't really know how to sell, or I didn't know how I was selling. Um, and that's when you came into the picture. You were my director of sales, and you pulled me over to the side, and you took me on my very first sales calls.
I don't even remember
I'd
that.
never been
Wow.
on a sales call, and I remember this drive. You made me drive because you hated driving. While we're driving, and I still laugh at this, we're talking about like who we were going to go see, and then you're like, yeah, da 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 da, FIT, and then I said, Russell, what does FIT stand for? Here I am generating these FIT wholesale contracts. I had no idea what FIT stood for. And you just gave me this look, and you're like, oh, Tina, like, I had no idea what that was. And here I don't know what I was doing. I don't know how I was doing it. I was hitting my numbers, but I didn't know what FIT was. I just knew I was selling it. So I was doing something right. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
will say
well, you were.
that you definitely pushed me to recognize certain potentials in myself, even till this day. But yeah, you pushed me, and not just me, the other girls that had worked there in the office, with me at the hotel. I think we were all extremely comfortable. I think we needed some motivation, and you would push us every day. You would push us to want more. And so I will always, I think I've told you this a million times, I am where I am today because of people like you that believed in me. And so I'm just,
You're there. No, I appreciate that, but no, you're there because of who you are. Yeah,
because
people.
you recognize the potential of who I was, and you pushed me. I had no direction, and you said, no, Tina, you're going to do this. And yeah, you pushed me. You pushed
Yeah,
me to be uncomfortable.
yeah.
You pushed
There's
me.
a situation. There's a situation. Can I share the situation? Can I share
Of
the situation that
course.
happened? I'll share this one situation, and I mentioned this before on. I do so many lives and things like that, and I talk about different conversations I have with people. Okay, so Tina. Okay, Tina has so much potential. Okay, I don't think she knew how much potential she had. But I mean, and I did recognize that though. But she came to me one day and said, "I need to make more money." Basically, just like that. Okay, I don't know if I could. I can't put it any different and more blunt than that. Right? She says, "I need to make more money." And I said, and I looked and I stopped whatever I was doing. I stopped and I said, well, you need to go. You need to go somewhere
Go to
else.
another one.
I did not hesitate. I said, you need to go somewhere else. And I went back and I said, well, this is what I mean by that. It wasn't just like you need to go somewhere else and get out of my
Mhm.
office. No, it was you need to go somewhere else because basically she had been there too long. Okay, sometimes people cannot better themselves being in the same situation. They have to move forward, and when you move forward, okay, let me back up. This hotel would only pay, a certain positions. There's a budget, right, and it's only going to pay a certain amount of money, right. So in order for you to gain more money, you have to make more moves. Okay, meaning you needed to leave that comfort zone of that hotel and go somewhere else and seek greener pastures because with the greener pastures comes more opportunity and comes more money, right? So
Mhm.
I think I may have explained this to you. I mean, that's how I figured out the game, so to speak. I've been to 14 different hotels, and I think that hotel at that time was number 13. That was number 13 hotels. Okay, So, and I knew in order for you to make more money other than the normal cost of living raise, which was, I don't know, 2.5 to 3%
Two
or
and a
something
half
like that,
percent. Yeah.
if that, cost of living raise, you needed to move around. You needed to move and go somewhere else. So I said, Tina, I mean, I would love to give you whatever you're asking for, but it ain't gonna happen here.
You ain't
You'd
gonna
have
get
to
it
go
here.
somewhere else. Exactly. So, but it wasn't, as bad as what that sounded like initially. And she was, I mean, and she, this is what she needed. This is what she wanted. She had goals and aspirations too, but she didn't, she thought she can achieve them right there at the same hotel. But
Mm-mm.
what I was there to let her know that, yeah, you have, I mean, the ceiling is so high for her and it's still high. And I said, but you just can't do it here. You're going to have to,
Right.
because at that time, I think you had been there how many years? 16
Oh
years
my
or something
gosh.
like that?
I would almost 14 years, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, Tina, you have to go somewhere
You
else.
gotta
You can't
go.
stay here. Yeah. So she
I
ended
felt
up
like
going
my dad
somewhere
was
else.
kicking me out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But that was, yeah, I don't think anyone else has ever asked me that before. I don't think I've ever given that. In fact, I know I haven't. That was the first time that
And you know
anyone's
what's
ever
funny?
said that.
I had to work myself up to ask you that. And I'm glad
I
that
can
I did.
imagine. I'm glad you did too, because where'd you go after Sportsman's Lodge?
Well, I went to, I don't know how I did this, but I managed to work for the Sofitel Los Angeles in Beverly
Mm,
Hills.
mm,
Four
mm,
star,
mm.
four diamond, a core property. Yeah.
See, and that's somebody. Why do you think you got that position there?
Again, because of people like you that believed in me. I had worked that wholesale and FIT markets for so long, and this property was looking for somebody that could bring in that business.
Yeah, and you didn't give
And
yourself enough credit, is what it comes down to.
and I did not give myself enough credit. And again, people like Alina Wade said, "Hey, you better apply for this job. I'm getting you an interview, and you're going, And she called me. This is what you're going to wear. This is what you're going to say. Once you're in the door, like I'm getting your foot in the door. She's like, you can do it, Tina. Don't be intimidated. And I did, and I listed her as a reference, and I put you down as a reference, and I had never been anywhere else other than the Sportsman's Lodge. That's what I knew. So here I am walking into this new environment, a beast of an industry. The four
Oh yeah.
star, four diamond, the
Mhm.
competitiveness. It was a market that was completely new to me, but I knew
Mhm.
that I wasn't afraid to dial for dollars.
Dollars
And
for dollars.
I wasn't afraid to hustle because that's what I had done all of my hotel life. You just, it sounds terrible. The word hustle, has such a bad rep, but we're hustlers. We got to get by. And I will say that it wasn't the easiest transition for me. Um, it was really difficult. I was really thankful for the opportunity. I love the hotel, and it really opened my eyes to see, that not everyone is kind and not everyone is going to help you. And the world of sales is cutthroat. It
Mm.
is cutthroat, and I did not know that. But then
Mm.
I always remember you would say, Tina, not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay because you're not going to like everyone either.
Mm.
You go in there and
Preach.
you do you. You used to say you do you, and that's it. And so, it was really difficult for me, but I am so grateful that I had some really kind people there that really helped me out. And I'm just going to name them because they've all been, women, and it's Women's International Month, I believe. So,
Yeah.
Julia Wong was a senior group sales manager there. She was so welcoming and so sweet. And she, for somebody to hold your hand
Mhm.
through the process when you're now tied to these big numbers was incredible. She became my director of group, and she was another one that really pushed me, and she really fought for me and saw my potential. And till this day, I still talk to her. But Julia was one of the most kindest and sweetest human beings that I have ever worked with at that hotel. And so I was very fortunate. I was there for 4.5 years. There
Wow.
was days, yeah, there was days where I would cry because I missed the comfort of Sportsman's Lodge because that's what I knew.
Mm.
And then, some days I would want to cry. I wasn't happy. And then, I would talk to, like anyone does, you talk to your parents. And I remember talking to my dad and I was crying. And he said, listen, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I didn't come to this country and sacrifice everything that I did for you to have your foot in the door and just be unhappy. Like I did that. You
Mm.
don't have to. So you have two
Mm.
choices. You can either walk away from it or you can go in there and show them what you're made of.
Mm.
And you walk out of there regardless with dignity either way. I said, okay. And I thought about that and I was there for 4.5 years.
Wow. That's great.
Mhm.
That's a great story. That is a great story. Dylan just said, "Great story, nice career transition." Thank you, Dylan, for that comment. Yeah, that's great. I mean, yeah, that
Yeah.
I am so I don't think I'm as proud as anyone that has worked for me or that we work together than I am with you. I mean, I remember coming to that hotel and you took me to lunch. You showed me around and you took me to lunch to the
Yeah.
Sofitel. Do you remember that?
I
Yeah,
sure do.
and I would never have known that I mean, you owned the hotel. I mean, it was your hotel. I mean, and you could tell from when I walked in to we went to lunch and you showed me around and this and that. You own the hotel, Tina. So I never saw any maybe issues that you may have had, and everyone
That's
else
so
talked so very
professional.
fondly of you. Yeah, you still got to fake it till you make it.
You
So
gotta fake it till you make it. And it's just you have to understand that when I'm saying these things about how unhappy I was, is I was sheltered for so long at the Sportsman's Lodge that I didn't know the cutthroat reality of the industry. And
that's
corporate
true.
is another
Oh yeah.
beast.
Oh
So this
yeah.
is all
Oh yeah.
new to me. So try navigating this as someone who is as green as they possibly come.
Hmm.
And so, I look back at it and I am so grateful for everyone that I ever met there. Wonderful, amazing company. Accor is amazing. It opened so many doors for me. I've met
Hmm.
so many people. I've worked with amazing people as well. It's a beautiful property. It'll always mean something very special to me. Um, but, you have to make moves in life. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, you have to make moves. And I loved it. I think people there loved me too. Me, I talked to everybody. I was
Yep.
sit lunch and have lunch with the valet drivers, with housekeeping, with everyone you can possibly think of. I'd walk in, I'd talk to everyone. And so I think when I left, they missed that. And I just brought this San Fernando Valley girl there with zero experience of this West Hollywood, Beverly Hills lifestyle, and we had fun with it.
That's
It was
cool.
fun. It was fun.
That
I owe so much to the Sofitel. It holds a very special place in my heart. It really opened my eyes to what the hospitality industry is.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The
Correct.
good, the bad, and the ugly, because nobody ever talks about the ugly.
Oh
Nobody ever
my
talks
goodness.
about, you can never, it's you can't take things personal
Mm.
in the hotel industry. They feel like they might be personal attacks, but you can't take things personal.
Mm.
Everyone's going to fight for their piece of business. And sometimes you have to fight against your own director. You have to fight against your own colleague. And
Wow.
it's cutthroat. It can get catty, but that's the nature of sales. It's whatever
Wow.
is
It
more
is.
profitable. It's what's more profitable.
It is. It is. Oh my God. You hit some stuff that, yeah, it made that. I felt that what you just said. I felt that because some of the hotels that I worked in, after being a director and coming back to being, because I needed, before I went to the Sportsman's, of course, 13 other hotels, right?
Mhm.
And one of the hotels I was at, I mean, this is a real quick story, the Westin Bonaventure. Okay. You had to fight every single day to get your business, to rev max your business. And hopefully they would take it. A lot of times they didn't. They just like,
Mhm.
no, we're not taking that and move on to the next one. We're taking something that not even on the books yet, not even tentative, but they're waiting
Right.
for some fantasy to come up, like
Yeah.
this fantasy group that's coming up that hasn't even materialized yet. They
Mhm.
would turn down my business. I'm like, what the heck? And you talking about taking it personal. Yeah, I was taking it personal at first, and then after a while, you just figure out like that's just how it is. I mean, they're going to go with the highest rate of business. If there's a potential to make more money off of one particular group, that's what they're going to take. So I learned that early on that it's cutthroat and other people. You had to go in there and fight with the other. At that time, it was probably 7 other sales managers. You had to fight with those 7 sales managers to get your damn group
to get your
even
damn
heard.
group.
Yeah.
Exactly. And see, that's what people don't talk about is, how do you maintain a friendly work environment with people that you pretty much have to fight to get business
Yeah.
in, because you only have so many rooms, you only have so many square footage of meeting space.
Yeah.
And it comes down to everybody has a goal. Everybody's
Yeah.
tied to this. Whose business is going to win? And that's where, it's sometimes it's harder to sell to your own hotel than it is to your client.
Oh my goodness. Oh, preach. Okay, see, so that's what I'm talking about. See, now you know why I like Tina. Now you see, because Tina has always kept it real. So no, I appreciate that. Okay, so let's transition to now where you are now. So you left
I left the Sofitel. I said au revoir.
Mm-hmm.
I left the Sofitel. Right when I left, I had just had my son. My first son, who's now 5. So my decision to leave the Sofitel, my little Mateo, yes. So my decision to leave Sofitel was I wanted more of a work-life balance. Not saying that Sofitel didn't give that to me, but the commute can be brutal. I live in the San Fernando Valley, and driving to and from, the West Hollywood, Beverly Hills area can be a nightmare, especially during the summer Hollywood Bowl. If you have that commute, that the canyon is literally like one.
Oh yeah.
So and the funny thing is that right before I gave my notice, I was finally bumped to senior group sales manager. So that was really kind of bittersweet for me, because I remember crying from not wanting to be there to finally proving myself to where they recognize that I have the potential to be a senior, And so I talked to my husband, and when I saw that the position at the Garland was open, immediately. So the Garland is a property that I've always aspired to work for. Always. I had applied previously. It didn't happen. All in due time, I think. But so finally, this opportunity. I'm going to tell you the story of how this came about. It was me and my senior group sales manager, Genevieve Gabriel. Give her a shout out too, because she's a female who is killing it with Pally. She's a director of sales for their properties, and she's a mom of 2, and this girl does it all. I told Genevieve, listen, I really want to make a move, and I really want to work at the Garland. So she says, oh, I know Manny Garcia at the Garland, who Manny is now my director of sales. I met him at Tour Connection. Let me send him an email. So here she's emailing him from our Sofitel email. Hey, my colleague wants to work at your hotel. Like, that just was so bad, right? And he said, well, have her apply. So I applied, and I got an interview. I got an interview for that, for the Garland and for the Dream Hotel in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to see what happens. Came to the Garland. I met the team at Manny, and instant connection. It felt like home. Like, as soon as I set foot at this hotel and I had a conversation with him and the team, I felt welcomed. I felt like I belonged here. And I had not felt that since I was at, Sportsman's Lodge days. Like, it was just like, wow, everything about the property I've always loved. And so I was crossing my fingers that, I would get the job. And, the thing was, I talked to my husband, and he supported me. I said, hey, this is going to be a step back for me. I'm no longer a senior at this 4-star, 4-diamond property. I'm no longer going to be tied to this salary. Now I'm in a different area, and we know that is, things change depending on areas. And he said, let's do whatever it is that you want to do. And so I accepted the position at the Garland, and I thought that would be a step back. But at the end, it's like the cha-cha, you take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. And I ended up taking 2 steps forward, and months in, here I am as assistant director of sales. They felt that I was qualified enough for the position. So Manny Garcia, who was the ADOS at that time, really saw that potential in me, because I came from such a strong group background now after 4.5 years at the Sofitel, that when our current director of sales left the hotel, he was bumped up to director of sales. He's like, okay, well, if I'm getting bumped up to DOS, I'm taking Tina with me. And we've been a team ever since.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And so again, my career where I am has been because I've built relationships with kind people who've really recognized potential in me and have opened doors for me and have pushed me. And so I couldn't be happier. We have our challenges, as every hotel does, but in terms of the hotel, I mean, this is where I've always wanted to be. So I'm here now. And yeah, that's the story
Wow.
of Tina in a nutshell. Yeah.
Wow.
So who
That's
knows?
a
Who knows
great
when
story.
I'll be? Who knows
Well,
when I'll
yeah,
be?
this
Tina,
is just
but
a chapter. This is a chapter,
this is just
Tina.
a
This is
chapter.
another
Yeah.
chapter in this book that you're putting
Mm-hmm.
together. But no, that was great. And some of the stuff I did not know. So, but okay, getting to now, you're at the Garland. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we know it's an iconic hotel owned by the the
By
Garland family,
Beverly
right?
Garland. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beverly
Beverly Garland
Garland.
and her family. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Beverly Garland's an actress, right?
Yes,
Can you
she
give us
was
a
the
little,
most.
just a quick
Yeah,
story
I'm going to
about
give
that?
you like a yes. So why I love this property so much is there's really DNA in the architecture of this hotel, the history that comes with it. So you really do feel like you're at home when you're here. I'll take it back a little bit, but the actual land that the hotel sits on, we sit on 7 incredible acres of land right by Universal Studios. Once belonged to Gene Autry, which is, a Western legend,
Hmm.
the Golden Boot era. And so this property that he had was horse property. And this is where they used to film, keep in mind, Studio City, where they used to actually film the Westerns. So there's a lot of history on this land that we're sitting on. And now they've built this incredible hotel from the ground up. And so Beverly's husband was a developer, and he also developed some hotels, iconic hotels in Las Vegas on the Strip. And so we're talking, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin days. So there's a lot of a lot of history, a lot of details to this property, built from the ground up 50 years ago. Beverly was a Hollywood actress, and I think her most recent or most famous role was as a mom on My Three Sons. And then her most recent would be as Phoebe's aunt on Friends. So when people say, "Oh, Judy Garland," no, it's Beverly
Yeah,
Garland.
Beverly
Yeah.
Garland. Yeah.
So we're still family owned and operated. Our owners actually have an office here on property, and it's amazing. It's that we have such owners that really care about the hotel, really, really care about the hotel, and they want it to be as organic and want to keep it as real and as who we are as possible. We don't try to be anyone else. It's just in our DNA. It's our structure. If you get a chance, I highly recommend that you go onto our website. There's a lot of detail in there about our history and who we are and why we are what we are. This iconic landmark here in the San Fernando Valley. Some accolades that you shared earlier with, Condé Nast and World Travelers Choice Awards and Leisure. Once you walk the property, it really is special. You really have to be here and you have to see it to really feel why this property is just so cool. But highly recommend for your viewers to, go on that Garland website, read about our story, read about who we are and what we represent. And everyone on this property, stemming from ownership and management, really do care about it. And you can tell throughout the details of the property that the love is there.
Definitely.
And that's number one. They love this hotel.
Hmm.
Everyone who works at this property loves the hotel, and you can see it and you can feel it, and that's hard to find at hotels nowadays.
So true, so true. No, I can
Hmm.
attest that I've taken a group there, and they
Yeah.
had a phenomenal job. And I think most of it was because of you, though, because you I gave you something that I really didn't know how they were gonna how they were gonna act, and they
It's
acted up, some of them. But you were so gracious. You took care of them. They
Mhm.
had nothing but great things to say about you, the service, the hospitality of the hotel. I knew what to expect, right? But but sometimes people will challenge, certain things, right? And
Absolutely.
but yeah, but no, the number that was it number was it 17 or whatever? The
We're like
17
number
you guys?
11, number
11. I'm
15.
sorry,
Yeah,
11.
number
11.
11.
That number 11, you guys definitely earned it, and they're ranked against some top hotels in LA.
We are
Okay,
Waldorf. I mean, we are ranked amongst the top hotels in Los
yes,
Angeles.
a
So
lot of
you're talking,
five diamond hotels. Yes,
yes, we're
Waldorf.
talking family
Um,
owned and operated. And I mean, that should alone should let you know how much love goes into what we do here.
Yes, you definitely can feel it. You can feel the
Yeah.
vibe. It's definitely a different vibe when you go into that hotel. And then I had a couple other clients that are interested in that hotel. It's just that some dates weren't available. But and then Cheryl for her groups, I mean, she's always talks very highly of your hotel as
Oh,
well.
Cheryl.
So yes, 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 and of you. So, but no, this is
Good.
great. So how many rooms does the Garland have?
257 guest rooms. So we're a true boutique hotel. Definitely under 300, 257. Um,
Okay.
a little over 20,000 square feet of meeting space, including one of the things that makes us so special is we have this incredible outdoor space
Yes, you do.
that is about 6,000 square feet. It's stunning. And it's literally like an oasis. You do not know that you're nestled in between the city. I mean, our Beverly Park area is just amazing. Yeah. And again, we sit on 7 acres, so the property's big and you have this resort feel to it. It's just
I
so everything
agree.
on the property is so unique. Our artwork, our decor, our restaurant is amazing as well. Top 100 in open table. I mean, we've actually people know us because of our restaurant. Oh, there's a hotel
Yes.
there. Like, yeah, the front yard
Yes,
is very
yes, the
popular.
front yard.
Yeah.
Yes, very popular. In fact,
Mhm.
every time I've been there, it's packed. I don't care what day you go there for lunch. It's packed all the time.
All
And
the
Tina took
time.
care of me. Tina took care of me last time I was there too. So
Yeah. Yeah,
thank
no,
you,
no.
Tina. I
And it's
appreciate
it's incredible to see that a restaurant within a hotel does so good because it's usually the opposite.
it. Exactly,
It's usually the
exactly,
opposite. Yeah. And then when I was on the west side, if you don't have a celebrity chef tied to your hotel restaurant, you're irrelevant.
exactly.
But here we're like family owned and operated, and the restaurant does so well, the hotel does so well. Yeah, so I'm in a really great place. I'm really happy. I feel like I'm home here, so and it's been a while since I felt that way. So everything is lining up.
That is great. How long you been there now?
4.5 years, going on 5. So
Okay,
who knows?
very
Maybe
good.
contemplating a move soon. I don't know. I don't think so. But you never know what the stars
Mm,
have aligned for. Now I have another little one. Now I have a 1 year old. So that changes,
baby Lucas.
maybe little Lucas. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I'm just, like I always say, I'm a hot mess, but I'm still thriving. And
No, you're doing a great job, Tina, and I appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate,
you.
yeah. So no, I know, I no, I thank you. You just, everyone needs what do you call it? Someone to push them, a mentor, if you will. Someone.
Yes.
We always need that, right? I mean, I needed that
Mhm.
as well. You just need somebody to recognize the potential and to push when you need to push, right? So you already have the skills, right? I was just there just to make sure you took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to you. So that's all I did, right? I just pushed you when you needed to be pushed. That gave you a little nudge and say, you know
Yes,
what,
you did. I still
do
remember
this.
all the Russell isms. When you said
Give us a
Tina,
couple.
oh, this is my favorite one, and I will use this. till the day I die. This is my favorite. You said, Tina, you can teach skill set, you can't teach common sense. I can teach you how to do all this, but I can't teach you common sense. Like, you can't teach that. And that is so true.
Oh my God, you're too
That
much.
is so,
Too much.
you are
Too
too much.
much.
No, I've always said this. I am so happy that I'm number 200 on your show today, because I will never get tired of telling the story of, of my career and your influence. And you've changed my life, Russell, in more ways than I could ever, I could really ever explain. I think you've been an incredible mentor up until this day. And one of my goals is to be that mentor for somebody. I think I mirror how I lead a team now, based off of what I've taken from so many people. And I think primarily from you, I really, I really want people to see the potential in them. And I always say that if I can get somebody far in life in this career, then I've done my job and I'm okay. Because I will never sugarcoat anything for anyone. I tell it how it is in this industry, because not everybody does. And if you're not honest, you're not setting anybody up to be successful, and so I am forever indebted to you for believing in me when I didn't believe in me. And here I am. I mean, I know what FIT means now, but
What
I'm
does
still
it mean?
learning.
I don't even know. What does it mean? Go ahead. What does it mean?
Foreign individual traveler. Will never.
My God.
It's just a never. This is a thing about this industry. You meet so many people, and it's, I don't know. It's incredible. And though this hospitality industry, not everybody can be hospitable. And
you're right. You're right.
I think we're gonna have to need a number 2 on the show. So that's a lost art now. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm thankful to you for showing me the old school ways of selling and not being afraid to pick up that phone and having that uncomfortable conversation. And those are things that people don't want to do anymore.
Old school ways of selling. That is good. It's a lost art these days.
It is a lost art.
I remember and this was recent. You called me. It was, I guess you guys were dialing for dollars this particular day or something like that, and you just called. Remember that?
Yes. So we have, and I'm going to just, share it. We have our Customer Appreciation Day, and that is where we designate a day and we call all of our clients to thank them for the business and support they have given us throughout the year. And so we actually pick up the phone and call. And the thing is, not everyone's going to answer. So we'll leave voicemail, send out an email, but it's the art of talking to someone and personally thanking that person for sending business your way. And so we do that periodically. It's a lost art. Sometimes people will answer. I think the newer planners, like the younger generation, you call and they're like, huh? But then you've got, the old school seasoned meeting planners, and they're thrilled to hear somebody on the other end. They are thrilled. And it's just, and we do that. And so we build these relationships, and that's why people love us, and
that's what it's all about. It's all about the relationship. That is
it's all relationship building.
Yes. And you hit it. I mean, when she called me, she said, I'm going old school on you. I'm calling to thank you for the business that you sent. I was like, I was blown away that actually someone from a hotel actually called, just to thank me. I mean, but it wasn't surprising because it was her. Okay. Now, some other people, I would have been, surprised, like, oh, are you serious right now? Because I can call people and then they send me an email back. They don't respond the same way that I initiate the call or initiate the contact. They will send me an email back. So, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but no, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you guys are doing there, and just continue success
Yeah,
in everything that
I'm
you
still
do.
going. I'm still going, you know. This industry is
Appreciate
always
it.
changing.
Yes, yes, and you have to evolve. Either you evolve or you get left. So yeah, so
Hmm.
no, I can see you
And I don't want to get
evolving. No, you're not gonna get left, Tina. No, you're not gonna. You're not gonna get left. That's never gonna happen.
hmm
Okay. So I'm done asking you questions.
hmm
I'm just gonna. I guess we got a couple minutes left. Let me just make comment or read a couple comments. Show number 200. Congratulations, brother. Oh, that's from my sister Marsha. Thank you. Words to live by. Common sense isn't common. No, it's not. Dylan says, so few take the time to even thank those they meet afterwards. You know what, Dylan? I ain't got enough time
Amen to that.
to even go into that one because I don't know how many, and I make this known. I don't know how many times I've gone to trade shows and I have these appointments that I never get any phone calls, never get any emails, never get any correspondence from anyone that I had a meeting with. And I'm like, well, why are we
Yeah.
having these meetings if no one is following up with me? I'm sorry. I don't know. Well, hold on.
hmm
You know, crickets. That's exactly what I get. That's exactly what I get. But okay, so we got 3 minutes. Do you
hmm
have any questions for me? This is the time when I don't normally do this, right? But because it's show number 200 and it's because it's you, I will allow you to ask. You take the mic and you ask me some questions if you want
I'm
to.
gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I'm gonna ask you because this comes a lot. Now that this industry is evolving, right? Um, how do you work with the millennial client? Because this is like this is honestly this is so controversial topic. It's a controversial topic because they are they're a special breed. You know, have you had any challenges with working with millennials opposed to seasoned?
Well, I'll tell you this: the millennials, those are the ones that email you versus calling. So regardless how you reach out to them, they're gonna reach out to you via the email. So if I make a
Mhm.
phone call, very seldom do they even pick up the phone. Okay, even if I call them, very seldom do they pick up the phone. So I mean, there's a couple that I deal with now that I have conversations with. Um, you know, they have different ways of thinking, and you just have to kind of, I guess you have to meet them where they are. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be like that, and it should be the other way around because a lot of people that I deal with, they're planners, or they could be CVB people, or they can be hoteliers, right? So they don't get that. Okay, you're supposed to be contacting me. You need to follow up with me because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's employing you, or I'm the one that's bringing revenue and dollars or whatever business to your establishment, whatever that establishment is. So it's just knowing where they are, and I'm not afraid to let people know. They say, hey, you know what, you need to. Can you follow up with me? And I'm expecting you to follow up with me, by this day, because I need to know because my client needs to know, right? I work for the client, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just meeting where they are. It's explaining to them the whole process because a lot of them they didn't go through how we went through. Okay,
Mhm.
they didn't have an old school person to kind of teach them, right? They were just not saying they were given the position. Maybe I mean they have a skill set for something, and it may be more along the lines of the more digital, less of the conversation, face to face contact. They
Mhm.
don't deal well with a lot of that, and I just don't think they've been exposed to a lot of that. So
Yeah.
my job is to try to let people know that hey, this is how it's done, or this is how it should be done. Not trying to tell them everything, but just kind of suggest things. You may want to try it this
Mhm.
way because everything's tied to a number, right? Everything's tied to a
Yeah.
goal. And I'm always wondering, do these people make their goals? Do they make their numbers? Or are goals and numbers something that they're not really pushing these days? Because if if to me, making phone calls and all that is part of, you pushing that, trying to get close to
Mhm.
your goal or your budget, right? And if you're not doing that, it's telling me that they're not making their numbers, and it's telling me that the people that are responsible for those numbers, they really don't care. I mean, that's what it's
Mhm.
telling me. And if anyone else is on there listening, I mean, please let me know. But yeah, they're a different breed. Yeah, you're right. They're a different breed. But
They
yeah,
are
so
different
just try to
breeds.
meet people. Yeah, just try to meet people where they are. And I'm like I said, I try to let people know that I'm here as a resource if you need help. Not you don't have to book any. I don't have to book anything with you. We don't have to have that kind of conversation or that relationship. But if you need help within the industry, let me know. I mean, those are things that I try to throw out there. So hope
All
that
right.
answered your question.
It sure does.
Okay.
Just wanted your take on how you would handle millennials.
Oh God, yeah, you got to be a little different. It would be different than how I handled the questions you asked me
Hmm.
because I knew that you had an ethic, a work ethic. I knew that. Okay, it's just that maybe you didn't know how to harness it and put it in the right direction or put it in the right
Right.
areas. But I knew
Hmm.
you had everything. You had everything. You had all the tangibles. Okay, you had everything that you needed to be successful, to be the person that you are today. I mean, I
Had
saw that
common
early
sense.
on. Let's say it again.
Had common sense.
Yeah, you had a lot of common sense, and you were strong. You were strong. You were strong-willed. You knew what you wanted, and you knew you knew how you needed to get there. But when you came to me with that number, with that I need to make blah blah blah, I'm like, well, you can't
Well, then
make
you
that
gotta go
here.
somewhere else.
Okay, yeah, you can't make that here. That's nice, but you can't make that here,
Can make that
Tina.
here.
Okay, so you need to go. But anyway, we're out of time, Tina. See how fast that went, and
I
you've
know we're
been
gonna
putting
have to
me
meet a
on.
part two. Hopefully, show number
Exactly.
400.
No, it's gonna be before that. I'm not gonna be
Okay.
doing another 200.
No, yeah, so much to talk about,
No,
so
I'm
much
joking.
to,
I'm
to
joking.
cover. But again, thank you so much for having me on today. Congratulations. You know what? I love you, and I'm friend for me
Thank you.
for life.
Thank.
And so,
Yes, we are
yeah, there's
connected for life, Tina. So thank you so
we are
much.
connected. Thank you so much,
Uh,
Russell. Congratulations again, and there will be a part two, maybe a part three,
yes,
because
yes,
there's a
yes.
lot to
On
talk
your
about.
schedule, because we know how busy you are. But
Yeah,
anyway, but
yeah.
see, I didn't even get a chance to get into your travel, how you figure out which shows you're
Which
going to attend.
shows
See,
to
yeah,
do?
we
Yeah,
have to. Yeah, we definitely have to do a part two
we need
because
a part
I'm
two.
interested to know, how you guys come up with the shows that you're going to attend and what's
Hmm.
the perfect customer for your hotel, things like that. So yeah, there definitely will be a part two. So
There
you let
has
me
to be a
know
part
when you're
two.
able
Yeah,
to do that, okay? Because
I
I
know.
got more questions to ask.
I know.
Okay,
But thank you for making my life story your 200th episode.
you're more than welcome. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate
Thank
you
you. I
once
love you,
again, Miss.
Russell.
Love you too. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. Tina Zasadi.
Yay. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. So anyway, you guys have a great day. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and all the comments. My sister, Dylan, Cheryl Rogers, Robert Lynn Moncrief out there. She be from Houston. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I do appreciate it. Show number 200 was great. Stacey, appreciate you. Jim Schichter with Broughton Hotels. I mean, Tina talked about Broughton Hotels, and that's where we met. And so it was Jim Schichter, it was of course Larry Broughton, and then Steve Steve Buckley, Steve Buckler. Yeah, yeah. I mean, talking about a cast of characters, okay, he was one. He was one of the top characters in that company. So, but anyway, I don't have time to go into that. But anyway, I want to thank you guys again so much for making show number 200 great. The people that have tuned in, yeah, I went a little over. I understand that, but hey, it's show 200. I mean, it was expected, right? I want to thank Tina for coming on, talking about the Garland Hotel, talking about her rise from the Sportsman Lodge to the Sofitel to the Garland Hotel. I mean, she was open and honest about the hospitality and how it's not always easy, right? It's not always easy, but it's all about what you make out of it, and don't take things so personal, but it can be cutthroat. And she gave examples of what she meant by that, fighting for her groups, and I understand that because working at that Bonaventure and some of the bigger hotels that I worked at, yeah, you had to fight for your business. You had to fight. for your right to party. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, I threw that in there. But yeah, so you had to fight for your groups, and it was like stressful and stuff like that. So when she said she left, she transitioned from the Sofitel because she wanted more of a work life balance. That's real, okay? That's not just some made up phrase. I mean, you need a work life balance if you want to get married, have kids, have a family. That's some serious stuff because along with sometimes we're in Southern California, you're driving. I'm sure her commute was probably an hour or more to the valley. She's a valley girl, right? So it's a valley going to Beverly Hills. I mean, yeah, the certain days I'm sure going through that canyon, it probably took a good hour and some change to get to and from. But I applaud Tina for everything that she's done. Like I said, she is the person I'm the most proud of, and I don't just say that just because. Um, but no, I mean she's definitely dear to me, and I appreciate everything that she's done for me, and I appreciate her coming on here, and it's good to see people that you've been rooting for a long time, being successful, and the sky's the limit for her. Okay, so and if you didn't see that, I'm sure you felt it, right? But yeah, the sky's the limit for Tina. And once again, I appreciate you coming on. And that's it. So I'm done talking. You guys have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. I was gonna make some tacos today, but I look in there, I don't have any darn tortillas. I'm like, how's this gonna be Taco Tuesday and I don't have any damn tortillas? Well, maybe I got to go to the store. Maybe that's it. And it's raining and all that stuff. So is that gonna affect me from going to get the taco, the tortillas? Probably not. So I'll do that. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks again. Show number 200. Boom. Next week will be 201. So we're at a high now. I'll be at a low next week. Right? I'll be chill next week for 201. You guys have a great day. Thanks again. Peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.